Stop scrolling, because what I'm about to say might offend you, but it will also change you. Everyone today wants to flex, money, status, attention. But the truth is, most of it is fake. Anyone can look successful for a moment. Anyone can pretend. But very few people have discipline. And discipline is the real flex. Because discipline is what shows up when nobody is watching. It's what keeps you going when you're tired. It's what forces you to act when your mind is full of excuses. You don't need to show discipline. You prove it every single day. The problem is, people are addicted to easy rewards, scrolling, comfort, distraction, and they confuse activity with progress. They think because they're busy, they're improving, but deep down, they know they're not. Because real progress is quiet. It's waking up early when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when no one is clapping for you. It's saying no to things that feel good now, so you can build something better later. That's discipline, and it's rare. That's why it stands out. That's why it's powerful. Because while everyone else is chasing attention, you're building control. Think about this. When you see someone truly disciplined, you feel it. They don't talk much. They don't show off. But there's something about them. Focus, calmness, control. That's not confidence from validation. That's confidence from discipline. Even ancient thinkers like Marcus Aurelius lived this way. He ruled an empire, but still reminded himself daily, control your mind, do your duty, ignore distractions, because he understood something most people miss. Power doesn't come from what you have. It comes from what you control. And if you can't control yourself, nothing else matters. Right now, most people are controlled by their feelings. They work when they feel motivated. They stop when they feel tired. They start something, then quit halfway, not because they're incapable, but because they lack discipline. And without discipline, your life becomes unpredictable, inconsistent, unstable. You keep starting over, again and again and again. That's exhausting. And deep down, you know it. You know what you should be doing. But knowing is not enough. Because discipline is not knowledge. It's action. Repeated action. Even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. That's where most people fail. They avoid discomfort. They run from it. But discomfort is the training ground. Every time you push through it, you become stronger. Every time you avoid it, you become weaker. So the question is, what are you choosing daily? Because your future is not built in big moments. It's built in small decisions. Do you wake up when you said you would? Do you finish what you start? Do you stay focused or get distracted? These small choices seem insignificant, but repeated over time, they define you. This is why discipline is the real flex. Because it's not temporary. It's not something you show once. It's something you live every day. Most people want results without the process. They want success without sacrifice. But that's not how it works. You earn discipline. Through repetition, through failure, through showing up when it's hard. There will be days you don't feel like it. Days you're tired. Days your mind tells you to quit. And that's the moment that matters most. Because that's where your identity is decided. Do you listen to your excuses? Or do you act anyway? Strong people don't feel different. They just act differently. They don't wait to feel ready. They move and become ready. That's the difference. And over time, that difference becomes everything. Discipline builds confidence, not fake confidence. Real confidence. Because you trust yourself. You know that when things get hard, you won't run. You won't quit. You'll show up. And that trust changes how you walk, how you speak, how you live. You don't need validation anymore because you've proven yourself to yourself. That's a different level of power. But let's be honest, this path is not easy. It's lonely. It's repetitive. It's uncomfortable. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always see results quickly. But that's the price. And most people aren't willing to pay it. That's why they stay average. That's why they stay stuck. But if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing discipline over comfort, something shifts. Slowly, quietly, you become different. Your mind becomes stronger. Your focus becomes sharper. Your actions become automatic. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses. You just do what needs to be done. That's when discipline becomes your identity. Not something you try, but something you are. And once that happens, everything changes. Because now, you're not chasing success. You're building it, day by day, step by step, without needing attention, without needing approval, just through control. And that's why discipline is the real flex. Not because it looks impressive, but because it's real. It can't be faked. It can't be borrowed. It can't be given. It must be earned. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember this. Anyone can start, few can continue, and even fewer can stay consistent long enough to become unstoppable. Be one of them, because in a world full of distraction, the most powerful thing you can become is disciplined. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. Discipline is not exciting. There's no hype, no instant reward, no applause. It's boring. It's doing the same things again and again with no guarantee of success. And that's exactly why most people quit. They chase excitement instead of consistency. They want fast results instead of real progress. But real growth doesn't feel like a highlight reel. It feels like repetition. Waking up when you don't feel like it. Working when you'd rather relax. Staying focused when everything around you is trying to distract you. That's the reality. And if you can accept that, you gain an advantage most people will never have. Because once you stop needing things to feel exciting, you become unstoppable. Think about it. If you only act when you feel motivated, you'll only move forward occasionally. But if you act regardless of how you feel, you move forward every day. That's the difference between average and elite. Average people need energy. Disciplined people create it. Another truth you need to understand is this. Discipline is built in private. No one sees your early mornings. No one sees your struggles. No one sees the moments you push through resistance. But those are the moments that matter, because that's where your character is shaped. Anyone can perform when people are watching. But who are you when you're alone? That's your real standard. And your real standard determines your real life. This is why discipline is tied to honesty. You can lie to others, but you can't lie to yourself. You know when you're making excuses. You know when you're avoiding work. You know when you're settling. And every time you ignore that truth, you weaken your self-respect. But every time you face it, you rebuild it. Self-respect is earned through discipline, not words, not intentions, but actions. Kept promises, daily effort. That's how you start respecting yourself again. And once you respect yourself, you don't tolerate a weak lifestyle. You don't accept laziness. You don't settle for less because you've raised your standard, and your standard becomes your identity. Another thing most people overlook is this. Discipline simplifies your life. When you're undisciplined, everything feels chaotic. You think too much. You delay decisions. You waste energy on small things. But when you build discipline, things become clear. You know what needs to be done. And you do it. No overthinking. No hesitation. Just action. That clarity is powerful. Because now your energy is focused, not scattered. And focused energy creates results. There will still be hard days. Days where you feel tired. Days where your mind resists everything. But disciplined people don't rely on feeling good. They rely on structure. They rely on routine. Because routine removes decision-making. You don't wake up and ask, should I do this? You already know, so you act. That's how you eliminate excuses, not by fighting them, but by removing the space where they exist. And over time, this becomes automatic. You stop thinking about discipline. You just live it. That's when your life starts to change rapidly, because now you're consistent. And consistency compounds. Small actions repeated daily turn into massive results over time. That's how transformation really happens. Not overnight, but through accumulation. Another powerful shift is understanding this. Discipline protects you. It protects your time. It protects your energy. It protects your focus. Without discipline, everything can pull you in different directions. People, distractions, emotions. You become reactive. But with discipline, you become intentional. You decide where your time goes. You decide what deserves your attention. You decide how you respond. That level of control is rare, and it's powerful, because now you're not living randomly. You're living with purpose, and purpose gives your life direction. Without it, you drift. With it, you build. At some point, you'll notice something different about yourself. You won't get easily distracted. You won't be easily shaken. You won't react emotionally to everything. You'll stay calm, focused, in control. That's the result of discipline, not just external success, but internal stability. And internal stability is everything, because no matter what happens outside, you remain strong inside. That's real power. Not money, not attention, but control over yourself. And once you have that, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need validation. You don't need approval. You know who you are. And that confidence is unbreakable. So stop chasing the appearance of success. Stop trying to impress people. Stop looking for shortcuts. Instead, build discipline, quietly, daily, relentlessly, because in the end, that's what separates those who wish from those who become. And if you stay on this path, if you keep choosing discipline over comfort, there will come a time when everything you once struggled with becomes easy, not because it changed, but because you did. And that's when you realize discipline was never a burden. It was your greatest advantage all along.